Hello, welcome back to How About That Crypto. You are watching your daily crypto news and updates with your host, Bitcoin Stylist on Twitter and Bitcoin Hairstylist on Instagram. I'm here Monday through Friday, and I explain crypto and Web3 while keeping you up to date on all the latest. Today's news stories are Vitalik is on the cover of Time magazine, and he is worried about crypto's future. And if you don't know, he is the co-founder of Ethereum. And Binance looks to buy banks and payment processors in Brazil. I'll explain all of this. If you stay till the end, I have a correction and update on some tax stuff from last week's episode. But first, if you like the content or don't like the content, please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you're listening on podcast, please give me 5 stars and follow me. If you're watching on YouTube, please smash the subscribe button and ring the bell. It helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Just to be clear and litigious, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can use the links to do your own research. Check it out below. My prayers continue to go out to Ukrainian people and all those affected by this crisis. Hopefully this conflict is over sooner than later. War, conflict, this is all bad stuff. So I just wanted to say that. Today's news stories have nothing to do with Ukraine. They have to do with Vitalik Buterin. He is the co-founder of Ethereum. Ethereum is a layer 1 blockchain, which is basically the base layer for a new type of internet. So layer 1 blockchain is like, think of it like the main network, and you can build on top of that network. And the main network, the size of the network, incentivizes people to bring on projects onto that network. So think of Facebook being a main base layer network, and people put their Facebook pages on it, for communicating with each other, or business pages. Why would you put a business page on Facebook? That's because there's so many people that are on Facebook. So it's the same concept where there's a base layer. The larger the network, the more value it is to people to build projects on. So this is considered to be a new form of the internet. And I have some stuff to share with you today. All right. So Vitalik is depicted in the Time article titled "The Man Behind Ethereum is Worried About Crypto's Future" by Andrew Chow. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the article here. It's not, very visually pleasing because there's like a little bit opening video, which I'll kind of play the first couple minutes of for you. So just let me enable the sound here. There you go. Okay. And if you're listening on podcast, you'll be able to hear everything.
The blockchain Ethereum moves trillions of dollars around the world every year, rivaling traditional finance heavyweights like MasterCard and Visa. Over the last few years, Ethereum has become the home of all sorts of cutting-edge projects, including NFTs, decentralized finance, and decentralized autonomous organizations. But it's also emerged as a vehicle for money laundering, billion-dollar scams, and shameless displays of wealth. Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, understands all of this, that his vision for the transformative power of Ethereum is at risk of being overtaken by greed, and so he has reluctantly begun to take on a bigger public role in shaping its future.
We are a community, and ultimately we do have a say in what things we put more resources towards. And if we don't exercise that voice, then the only things that get built are the things that are immediately profitable, and those are definitely often far from the things that are actually the best for the world.
Okay, so feel free, and I encourage you to watch that video and read the article. Vitalik is depicted as not a person who does not want to make unilateral decisions and lets the community decide on big issues. So check out the link below and read it. I'm going to give you my takeaways from it. There's a quote in this article that explains so much about Vitalik. It says, leadership has to rely much more on soft power and less on hard power. So leaders have to actually take into account the feelings of the community and treat them with respect. Leadership positions aren't fixed. So if leaders stop performing, the world forgets about them. And the converse is that it's very easy for new leaders to rise up. So my thoughts on this are, I don't know, it's interesting. You know, he definitely is visionary and an idealist, and he wants things to be a certain way, and he wants his creation to fulfill a purpose. But he's also kind of a realist too. If you listen to him talk about anything technical and adoption, like what is happening and what needs to happen in terms of any sort of uses of Ethereum. So I don't know. I thought this was interesting. What do you think about this so far? This quote, you know, basically saying that we need to decentralize power, and if there are, but he's also saying that there's going to be leadership, which means that and the utilization of power. So that's really not complete full decentralization. Anyway, tell me your thoughts. Leave a comment below. I'm going to keep moving on. Vitalik is worried about humanitarian efforts being thwarted due to high gas fees from speculation on things like NFTs. He's also concerned about a lack of gender and racial diversity, as well as voting in DAOs based on coin holdings, which empowers the wealthy. So what is a DAO? If you haven't watched any of the, if you're new to the channel, I talk a lot about DAOs. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and think of it like a condo board or a homeowners association, and so the condo board they have the condo docs, or the homeowners association has all these rules. So before you can buy a house in the community or buy a condo in a building, you have to agree to their rules, and the rules govern how everybody interacts with each other, you know, how you can use the common spaces, how money is appropriated, etc. You also vote on board members, to be the people making certain decisions without a vote, and other decisions need a vote. So think of a DAO as a program similar concept, where if you participate in a DAO, you have the right to vote. Well, he's saying that, and like they can vote on anything. It could be buying the Constitution, a copy of the Constitution, and then the members get to decide what to do with it, whether they pass it around to each other's house or they put it in a museum, whatever, it's theirs, and everyone gets a say based on their holdings. So each token is worth one vote. So he's saying that he doesn't like this because it just empowers the wealthy. His focus right now is funding startups to build the type of projects that he believes in, like things that do not reflect our current society. He does not seem to be a huge fan of capitalism. He does not seem to care for the empowerment of people that own more than other people through our current system. He's also upgrading the ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, to a proof of stake consensus protocol. If you've been watching, then you have heard about this. If you're new to the channel, there are consensus protocols that help secure the different blockchain networks and help process transactions and make decisions on changes to the blockchain. So the consensus protocol proof of work is the one that consumes a lot of energy, and that's what Bitcoin runs on. And Ethereum also runs on proof of work, but is making a transition over to proof of stake. And the big reason is it'll make it faster, but it'll also reduce energy consumption by 99%, according to Vitalik. He also wants to give value to commitment. He wants to also create NFTs and other types of projects that give value to people who show a commitment to the ecosystem, as opposed to those who own the most tokens. So another way to decentralize power and empower individual people who might have less than others. So what do you think about this? Do you think that, I mean, I don't know. I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this so far? I think that this all sounds good. And I'd like to see how this all plays out. And I think this is an interesting this is an interesting concept where he wants to give value to people's commitment to the ecosystem. Well, if you're a programmer, you might love this, but as a non-programmer, what does that mean? By doing these shows, how are they going to know that I think I'm creating value to various crypto ecosystems? So, am I going to get some sort of benefit for it? I don't know. And I'd like to see how this all plays out. So I have an excerpt I'd like to read for you, and it's the last 2 paragraphs of this article, and it reads: to Buterin, I think it's Buterin, I keep saying it wrong. Buterin, the worst case scenario for the future of crypto is that blockchain technology ends up concentrated in the hands of dictatorial governments. He is unhappy with El Salvador's rollout of Bitcoin as legal tender, which has been riddled with identity theft and volatility. The prospect of governments using the technology to crack down on dissent is one of the prospects of governments using the technology to crack down on dissent is one reason Buterin is adamant about crypto remaining decentralized. He sees the technology as the most powerful equalizer to surveillance technology deployed by governments like China's and powerful companies like Meta or Facebook alike. If Mark Zuckerberg shouldn't have the power to make epoch-changing decisions or control users' data for profit, Buterin believes that neither should he. So basically, in that statement, he's saying like, you can't make decisions that are so massive that it manipulates the data, and you can't sell people's data that for a profit. And he says he shouldn't have that power, and neither should anybody else. It says even if that limits his ability to shape the future of his creation and sends some people to other blockchains or allows others to use his platform in unsavory ways. And it's a quote from him saying, I would love to have an ecosystem that has lots of good crazy and bad crazy. Buterin says bad crazy is when there's just huge amounts of money being drained and all it's doing is subsidizing the hacker industry. Good crazy is when there's tech work and research and development and public goods coming out on the other end. So there's the battle, and we have to be intentional and make sure some more of the right things happen. What do you think about this? What do you think about Vitalik? Do you you like him? You don't like him? Do you think he is enabling capitalism, destroying it, enabling communism? What about centralized power? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I think this is all super fascinating. I think that I like that last statement about creating, public goods and things that, people can benefit from. But even if it's like, just like a way for musicians to sell their music direct to their people and like their fans, and they could sell their music at a lower cost to the fans and reap the benefits of that, and they can pass on the savings by cutting out people in the middle. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that sounds like communism? I feel like some of you are, I don't know. Leave a comment below. I want to hear from you, and I am moving on. And I have another article here. And if you're listening on podcasts, the links are all below. Paulo Alves reports on CoinDesk. Binance CEO says firm is looking into buying banks and payment processors in Brazil. The company will seek to strengthen its presence in the Latin American country and comply with local regulations, according to CEO Changpeng Zhao. Binance, for those of you who don't know, Binance is the world's largest crypto exchange by trading volume. CEO Changpeng Zhao, aka CZ, he goes by CEO CZ. CZ spoke at Ethereum Rio, which is an Ethereum community event, which we just talked about Ethereum, and it was held in Rio de Janeiro, and he announced his plans to expand their team in Brazil. He also said he will work with regulators, government agencies, and I want to just read this one excerpt from you. It's a pretty short article, so feel free to check it out yourself. It says pending legislation in Brazil would require crypto exchanges to be properly licensed, which would require either opening a local office or acquiring an existing operator. Well, that makes sense why he is just purchased. It says up here that he purchased an exchange, some sort of exchange. Oh, here you go. And a Brazilian securities brokerage. So I guess that's like a Robinhood. They just bought a Robinhood. And so if this legislation passes, the only way to get into Brazil as a crypto exchange, you have to purchase another one, and or opening a local office. So we'll see if this legislation gets passed. And then the final statement here in this article: last week, Zhao said that Binance plans to buy more companies in non-crypto industries as a way of expanding the appeal of digital assets. So what do you think about this? Do you like the fact that Binance is going in and saying, okay, hey, like, we want to bring crypto to the world, so we are working with, various countries, and one of them is Brazil, and in Brazil we're going to buy up payment processors. So think of Square or Swipe. When you go to like a store, like when you come to Violet Salon where I work, we use Square. So you swipe that credit card, and we don't really have access to that data, and we get like certain bits of the data, but like that's for Square. They process the payment, they deposit it into the salon's bank account. And our booking system is completely separate from that, but we process the information together. And so like that enables us to collect payment, and we have a separate system that enables us to keep track of all that stuff. And we have to make sure those two things come together. So these payment processing companies are going to be purchased by a crypto exchange. And actually, Binance also purchased all outstanding shares of Swipe. So Swipe is going to be enable. I think they actually already have enabled crypto. So you can pay with crypto through Swipe, or enable it. And I'll keep an eye on that and report on more in depth on that. But this is just interesting. Buy a bank, buy a payment processor, incorporate crypto into it. And all of a sudden, all those people that use that bank, you can just make it easy and seamless for them. And then no one has to worry about opening up a new account, giving out all your information, which everyone hates. And I know they hate it because I try to give away a bunch of crypto to family and friends, and like 5 people took my gift from them and from me, and it was because they didn't feel like there was too much friction. They had to like, oh, I got to give them my social security number, I got to give them my driver's license. And I'm like, yeah, you have to give that to a financial institution, just like your bank. You can't open up a bank account, you can't open up a Robinhood account, you can't open up a Charles Schwab account without giving that information. Just like you can't open up a crypto trading account without doing that as well. That is law, love it or hate it. So anyway, the point is, imagine if Capital One Bank or Wells Fargo just got purchased by a crypto company, and they integrated crypto into your app. You all pulled up your app, and all of a sudden it's got all these new features. Now all of a sudden you're in the crypto world. So what do you think about this? Tell me, leave a comment below. And you made it to the end, so I promised I would make a correction. I talked about taxing on crypto rewards. There's a lawsuit where a couple is suing the IRS because they got taxed on the rewards, but they never converted them and they never sold them. And so technically, the way a lot of these rewards work is they're not taxable until they're transferred until a taxable event occurs. Just like when you use your credit card and you earn points, you can use them in the ecosystem. So like if I get points and I want to get a Home Depot gift card, at what point in time is that a taxable event? Well, I got confirmation from an accountant, and even though this is not accounting advice, but I just wanted to make this correction. So if anybody out there is like saying, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm constantly trying to fact check this stuff. That was told, and this is not financial or tax advice, that when you convert your credit card rewards into cash to pay down your bill, that's a taxable event. You have to pay taxes on it. I didn't even know that. Like, have you ever paid taxes on converting your points to pay down your bill on your credit card? Well, so I just wanted to say that's a correction. So it is a taxable event. Now, when you use rewards to purchase something within the ecosystem, it's a big question. Like, is anybody paying taxes on using your Starbucks rewards for buying coffee? I don't think so. And if you are, please leave a comment below. Please correct me because I like to keep stuff straight. Okay. So anyway, until next time, I'll see you tomorrow. Leave a comment below. Please like, subscribe. It helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Have a good day. Hodl on.